Hello team and welcome back to the channel. So in today's video we are going to work with Git. Okay, so before starting the video, small request, please subscribe to the channel. We upload videos every day, or at least we try to. Okay, also one more thing, I have a Telegram channel which is completely many to many, so everyone can send messages. So if you are having any issues, queries or doubts, you can just ask me there. I'm very active on that and I will definitely reply you. Also, if you have any specific topic that you want a video to be made on, that also you can just drop in that group and I will try to make a video. The link of that channel you will find in the description. Okay, now coming to today's topic. So today we are going to work with Git for DevOps engineers. Okay, so this video is not key. I will show you every single command, but I will specifically show you the commands that is very common for DevOps engineer and that is very useful for you. Okay, also I will show you what is the branching strategy that is being used on corporate projects, so you can understand how it works and how exactly we will work with Git when we join a company or when we are working on corporate projects. Okay, so this is going to be really helpful for you. Also I will show you hands-on only how we are going to use it, so make sure to watch the video till end so that you can understand and get a good grasp on Git. Okay, so with that being said, let's get started. Okay team, so last night I put a poll on YouTube asking for if I should make a video on Git for DevOps engineers, and 96% of you have voted yes. So here we are making the Git video. Okay, so when we hear about Git, the first question that comes to mind is what exactly is Git? Okay, so Git is a version control system that is used for tracking purpose as well as for keeping multiple versions of the same source code. Okay, so when I say keeping multiple versions of the same source code, how does it happen? So basically for keeping different versions, we have branches in a Git. Okay, so basically the main structure of Git, how it works, we create a repository you can consider a separate folder. Okay, so we create that folder or / repository and we create multiple branches. Okay, so different versions of the source code we can put inside the branches. Okay, you can say key repository is a folder and branches are subfolders inside it, and inside each subfolder there will be a different version of the source code. Okay, I will show you exactly everything. Okay, so before that, one more thing, this is my Git page. If you want, you can just follow. As of now 121 people follow me. So basically I have lots of repositories which basically contains the ready to deploy applications. So if you want to do a POC or practice, you can just follow me and get those repositories. Okay, also one more thing I should say, make sure to create your own ReadMe page, something like this. If you can see, this looks pretty nice. It has profile views, how many people have visited my profile, things that I'm currently working on, and access to my repository URL, then my social media handles, then the languages and tools that I work with, plus I have this stats of my GitHub, then total contributions, contributed repo, and this is the highlight of my profile. This is this many commits I have done as of now. Okay, so I would suggest you can also create. I will just put a link of the video for making this. Okay, so next what we are going to do now is create our first repository. Okay, so you can just click on your profile, click on your repositories. Okay, and once this page opens, these are my current repositories which I already have. So let's click on new. Okay, once we click on new, this page will appear which will ask you, see also why I'm using Git for showing you these things, because Git is the Git is the place which is mostly used, okay, at everywhere. Also it is completely available for free. There are different versions paid versions or something, but we will go with free because it is more than needed. Okay, so for creating a new repository, what we can do, we can put a repository name. For example, let's say I just want to put at Git repo. Okay, so any name you can put, and my suggestions, put a small one. Let me remove this and instead put underscore. That is fine. Okay, so repository we have created. Okay, so next we have this option, public or private. So if you keep public your repository, then everyone on internet can access it using just the URL of the repository. But if you want to keep it private so that only you can access, or you can decide who can access. Okay, so you can give access of your repository to specific people. Okay, so these two options are there. So for now I will just keep my repository as public. Okay team, so next up we have this option, initialize this repository with readme file. So readme file is a, like, you can say, metadata file which contains the information about your repository. For example, if you are putting like a source code, then if you want you can put the steps to execute that or use how to use that source code. Okay, so basically it contains information, so if you want you can just check it so that it can automatically add a readme file by default. Okay, then we have git ignore. So if you want specific files to be ignored when like using the repository or like executing something, then you can put git ignore. Okay, so for now we will just let it be. Then we have license. So there are like multiple license. Some of them are like see, this license decides how this repository should be used outside. Okay, so there are license which will just, most of the license are in such a way that anyone can use a repository normally. Some license are there which restricts some in a usage of your repository in a certain way. Okay, so for license as of now it's not required. So these things you have done. We can now just click on create repository. Okay, now clicking on this will create your repository, and you can see nothing is inside our repository as of now. Okay, so now next thing what we need to do, let me like give you a little overview about this platform. Okay, so you can see like this is the platform, and here if I go, this is the branch name. Okay, by default one branch is there which is main. Okay, so this is the you can say master branch or main branch. You can say this is the original branch from which we can create other branches. Okay, so okay, what I will do, I will be pushing source code, which I will show you one by one. Okay, so for now let it be branch one branch. Okay, from here what we can see, code, issues, pull request, actions. Okay, and then we have settings. These things I'm just ignoring as of now because these 4-5 things are more important. Okay, pull request. So what happens when we have multiple branches and we want to merge the changes from the other branch to some other branch? Okay, for example, let's say I have two branches, main branch and main branch and develop branch. So I have certain changes in my develop branch which I want to push inside main. Then I will raise the pull request. Okay, so when our architect or whoever is the reviewer, once he approves, then those changes will be merged. Okay, then we have actions. Okay, so GitHub has recently added one feature using which you can build and like deploy your applications using GitHub itself. Okay, there is a something known as GitHub Actions, using which you can perform CI/CD using GitHub only. Okay, that is a really good feature. I have a separate video on that, how to use GitHub Actions and all. Okay, then we have settings. So if I open settings in a new page, so basically it contains these settings about like how what kind of changes you want. Okay team, so this is the settings section of generals. Okay, so inside it you can see all the different options, one of it which is actions. If I expand it, you can see the option general and runners. Okay, so these are basically settings. Another important section is the security section, where we have secrets and variables. So sometimes like we store username, password in our Git repository, and we want to use it in GitHub CI/CD actions. Okay, so we can keep it in the form of secrets and variables, so that it is like secure and it is not visible with naked eyes. Okay, so that is fine. Okay, so these are some of the settings which you can, if you want, you can explore, but as of now it's not so important. Okay, so coming back here. Okay, now coming to the place where like we are going to clone this repository on our local system, we will push our source code and then we will perform other tasks. Okay, so for that, first of all, what we can do, we can expand this option. You can see there are 3 options available: HTTPS, SSH, CLI. Okay, so basically most preferred option is HTTPS, which is like always works. Sometimes SSH actually sometimes fails and is not supported by all the platforms. Okay, so usually if it comes to you, always choose the option HTTPS. Okay, so you can just copy the repo URL. Okay, else what you can do, if you want to just keep it for your own personal use, you can just download the whole repository in the form of zip file. Okay, so we are not going to do that. We are going to follow the original process, which is copy the HTTPS URL. Once we have copied, what we can do, we can go to any specific directory or folder where you want to keep the source code. Okay, but before that, one more thing you should do, which is to search for git download. Okay, so basically this is a tool, git HCM, which we are going to use for running the git commands on shell. Okay, so there, like, you can just go to this git-scm.com downloads. You can download whichever version suits your platform. I have Windows, so I have downloaded the Windows. Okay, it's free and it works really fine. Okay, So once you download it, next what we can do, we can go back to the directory where we want to clone the repository or create a local copy of the repository. Okay, so I am inside the directory, and here I can right click, and you can see this option already comes. Okay, git bash. Here there is another one, git GUI, but I would suggest go with git bash. Okay, click on it. Okay team, so first command to clone the repository, we can write git, which is the executable of the git tool, then clone. Okay, and then we will copy paste the this URL of the repository which we have just copied, the HTTPS URL. Okay, then click enter. Okay, so if you are doing it for the first time, it might ask you, like, see, since it is a public repository, so it did not ask anything. Okay, but once if it is a private, then it will ask you username and password, but instead of password we will be using a token. Okay, secondly, even though it is a public repository, but I need to push the changes inside it. Okay, so for that reason what I need to do is provide the username, and for password we need to provide token. Okay, so you can see it is cloned. You can see here the folder is created. Now what we will do, we will run the cd command to go inside that folder. Okay, and now we are inside that folder. Okay, and now basically now we can run the git commands. Okay, so what I'm going to do is push a repository inside it. So let me copy this one. I will copy this and go back here, go to our folder that is created and paste it here. Okay, so once it is pasted, what we will do, we will commit this and we will push the changes inside git repository. Okay, and then what we are going to do, we are going to create branches and switch to branches. How those things are done, I will show you. Okay, so it is created. Now let's say that I don't want to push these files. Okay, so what I will do, I will just click on them and delete them. Okay, now one more thing I need to tell you is Git has three stages, three places you can say. Okay, working directory, staging area, and repository. Okay, so try to understand this. Working directory is the directory inside which we are making changes. Okay, so as of now, currently we have the working directory which is git_repo. This is our working directory since we are pushing the like making changes here, right? Then we have staging area. So staging area is a temporary location before we have committed and made all the changes to be pushed on our repository. Okay team, so we have created the repository. Next, as I was explaining, three areas of Git, which is working directory, staging area, and remote repository. So working directory is the location where we will make all the changes. Staging area is a temporary location, so when before finally pushing our changes to repository, all the changes will be kept on that temporary location which is known as staging area. Okay, then we have repository. So repository is the final location where we will push all the changes. Okay, so first of all, to make the changes I have made, like already copied the files inside it. Now we need to push these changes to our repository, right? For that, the command, first of all, we need to run git add. Okay, now here if I put dot, that means whatever is in current directory, everything will be added to the staging area. Okay, but if you want to specifically push, commit just one file, you can provide the name of the file. For example, mvnw. Okay, that means only this file will be added. Okay, so but as of now, in my case, since we have all these files, so I will just put a dot. That means whatever files is existing inside the directory, everything will be added. Okay, click enter. Okay, you see now it is running like little big because lots of files were there. Okay, so next what we are going to do is commit the changes. For that, we can run the command as git commit -m. -m means with what message the files will be committed. Okay, so message we need to provide in double quotes. So let's say key added source code. Okay, and close it with double quotes. Okay, now click enter and these files will be committed. Okay, in case you want to see the current status, you can run the command as git status. Simple. Okay, click enter and you can see we have just done one commits, but multiple files with one commit, right? Okay, now to push the changes, we can run the command git push. Now let's see if it is able to push, because we have not provided any kind of username and password. Okay, git push, enter. Okay team, so once I run this git push command, automatically if you have not like logged in already, this page will appear. Okay, connect to GitHub. Now you see there are like one option is through browser device, second option is through token. So I will use the option token. Okay, now as of now we don't have token, so what we will do, we will go back to our repository, and here we will click on our profile. Okay, and click on settings. Let's open settings in next page. Okay, and here we will scroll down to developer settings. Okay, once you go there, you can see this option personal access tokens. Okay, and we will select the option tokens classic. Okay, so I was already having one token, so I will click on just delete to delete. Okay, now let's generate a new token, classic token. Okay, so see, as of now, like what I have done, I have like added the this 2FA MFA, which is multi authentication option. Okay, so I will open the GitHub mobile and I will put the code here 74. Okay, and automatically it will refresh the page. Okay, so you see how interesting this option is. This is for like making everything secure. Okay, now what we can do, we can provide the name of the token. So I will just provide as T1. Okay, expiration, if you want, you can just set it up maximum 90 days to custom. Also custom is like whatever number of days you want, and no expiration is even there. Okay team, so here what we can do, we can select the scope is something like is what kind of access we want to give the token. Okay, so for now I will just select like most of the options. Okay, but you can decide based on requirement. You can have multiple tokens also, so that you can use specific tokens. See, delete repo I'm not going to give, so you can have like specific access to that token. Okay, so this is like kind of like really interesting, because like multiple level of access. Okay, also you should definitely copy this down somewhere, because next time it will be removed. Okay, so I will just put it here. Let me copy this. Okay, so we have created the token. We will go back here, provide the token inside it, click on sign in, and here we should be able to see the progress. Okay, yeah, you can see the progress, total 461, and files have been transferred. Okay, now if I go back to my repository, simply refresh the page, we should be having everything back. Yeah, you can see the commit message that I have provided, source code. Okay, and see these commit messages, why I say why they are here exactly, right? So the thing is they provide the information with this is like really useful for tracking purpose. Okay, so as soon as I clicked on this message, it gave the details like, see, everything is green, that means these things are completely newly added. Okay team, so once we have pushed our files, next what we can do, if you want, you can create a new branch. Okay, directly from here, if I just provide the name, let's say develop. Okay, and click on, so you can see the option automatically appears, create branch develop from main. Okay, that means main will be the base branch. Okay, if I click on it, it will create the new branch. You can see develop. Okay, and it is already up to date with main. Okay, so let's say that I want to make some changes. For example, just for the simple purpose, we can just you need to click on here, edit this file, right? Okay, so let's say we are just where is it, let's put a comment. Okay, so comment, let's comment something, just a simple thing like Aditya. Okay, sorry about that. Let's go back. Where is the comment we added? Yeah, so here what we can do, we can just add something like just my name I'll be adding. Okay, so after adding that, we can just click on commit changes. Okay, but if I scroll down, yeah, everything's fine. Okay, so we can just click on commit changes, and here we can decide what message we want to put. Like if we did any specific changes, we can put in commit message. Okay, and you can see the other option, commit directly to develop branch. Okay, or we want to create new branch, that also we can do. So for now I will just commit the changes to develop branch. Okay, now I will show you how we can do the same thing, like creating branches and committing the changes to specific branches using this Git. Okay, so as you see, like we just created a new branch from UI and added some changes. Okay, but in our local repository we do not have the same changes. To get the changes or download the changes from the remote repository, we can run the command as git pull. So it will pull the latest changes that is existing on the remote repository or the original repository. Okay, now you see, add new branch. Here it showed the information the new branch has been added. Okay, and by default you can see as of now we are in new branch. To switch a branch, we can run the command as git checkout and branch name. So branch name is develop. Okay, click enter, and now you see the message has been changed to develop. Okay, so now if you want, let's say we want to add a new file, I can run the command as touch1.txt. touch command is used to create new file in shell. Okay, so click enter and it will automatically create a new file. Now I can run the command as git add dot. Okay, usually I just go with git add dot because it will just commit all the files whatever is existing, new or old. Okay, and then git commit -m for message in double quotes, new file added. Any message you want you can just add. Click enter. Okay, and if I run the command as git push, it should push the files to develop branch. Okay, so let's say if it asks again the token or not, that is the concern I have. Okay, yeah, so second time I guess it did not ask the token because we have already provided. And if I go back here, go to our repository. Okay, and here we should be, see, as of now we are inside main. If I go to develop, we should be able to see a new file. Okay, 1.txt. great. Okay, one more thing I want to show you. Now you understand how to switch branches, how to create branch in from the like git tool. We can run the command as git bash. So we can run the command as git branch and the new branch name. Let's say I want to create a new branch as feature. Click enter and it should create new branch. Okay, now new branch is created. If I run as git checkout feature first okay, spelling is the little wrong spelling I have put, sorry about that. Let me create again the new branch, git branch feature. Okay, new branch I am creating, and to switch to branch I can run the command as git checkout feature. Click enter and you can see switch to branch feature. Now we are inside feature branch, and now whatever we want we can do. Okay, so let me run this git push commands just to see if like, since we have not done specific changes inside feature branch, still if I run what happens. Okay, so you can see no upstream branch. Okay, so if I go back to our remote repository, refresh the page, all branches, as of now only 2 branches visible. So what we can do, one second, let me try to run this command. Let's see what happens. Okay, see, even while after creating new branch we need to run this command. See, like whenever we are facing issues now, even from Git itself, like it will show what are the command you can run to fix the issue. Okay, now if I go back to our repository, what we can do, we can refresh the page and we should be able to see our branch. Okay, feature, develop and main. Okay, now next thing you see, compare and pull request, right? So let's say I want to merge the new changes that I have in develop branch. So you just saw inside develop branch we created new file, right? 1.txt. that is not inside the main branch. So what we can do, we can go to pull request. Okay, let's click on new pull request, and here we can select from where to where we want to pull. Okay, so let's say base I want to keep as develop. Yes, so base I am keeping as main, and compare we are doing from develop. Okay, and you can see the changes, this new changes, it is showing this will be merged. Okay, so if I click on create pull request, you can just provide like some information here what kind of changes are going to be merged. Then you can click on create pull request. Okay, so usually what happens on corporate place, like there will be some architect who will verify the changes, if the changes are correct or not. If they are correct, then they will approve the pull request and changes will be merged. Okay, so we will click on merge pull request, confirm merge, and you can see it has been merged. Okay, and let's say I just want to put a hash for comment. That's all. Okay. Okay, now if we go back to our repository, if I go to main, inside main branch, you can see 1.txt new file has been merged. Okay, okay, now these are the basic things that you should know, and these are exactly the commands that I have been using for 6 months in my current project, and nothing has been changed, because these are the basic commands like pushing, pulling, then updating changes and merging. These are the maximum things that you are going to use in any project. Okay, there are so many other commands for Git which I will mention in my documentation, but in reality these are the main commands that you need to know. Okay, okay, so now what I'm going to show you is what are the branching strategy that is followed in any corporate project. Okay, so make sure to watch that part also, because it is going to be really helpful. Okay team, so talking about branching strategy that is being followed in corporate organizations is that, let's say we have 5 environments. Okay, usually like there are 5 only. For example, dev environment, QA environment, pre-production or PPD environment, then production environment, and finally we have DR or disaster recovery environment. Okay, so QA, dev and PPD, they are lower environments, while production environment and DR environment are higher environments. Okay, so what we do, we basically have, let's say we have the master branch, which is the you can say master branch is the branch that will contain the code for production environment, the code that is going to be deployed inside the live production environment, live environment. Okay, and then we have the other 4 branches which are created from master as base. Okay, so we have dev, QA, PPD and DR. So these all 4 branches are created from master. Okay, so how it works, we will first deploy using the dev environment, then QA environment, then test everything like that. Okay, then we slowly, like once we move to next branch, we merge the changes from the previous branch. Okay, for example, let's say like I have done the deployment to lower environments, dev, QA, PPD. So once we are in PPD, and now next we need to deploy the changes to master or you can say production environment. For that, what we do, we merge the changes from PPD environment to master branch. Okay, so once we have merged the changes, then finally we can use the master branch to deploy the changes to production environment. Okay, so this is how it does, how it happens. Okay, so in short, we will first push the changes to lower environment, use that to deploy. Once everything is fine, then when we merge the changes from lower environment to higher environment, and then deploy the things to production environment. Okay, so that is how branching strategy works. Okay, so yeah, that's it for today, and I hope you guys liked the video. And also I would ask you to follow the documentation that is on GitHub, so that you can check out the other commands which I have not shown here, because I have shown the most common commands that the DevOps engineer requires to use. Okay, so thanks for watching and have a nice day.